Hey guys, so it's Friday, and I thought to myself, now not necessarily means you'll see this today. I'm hoping you will, but you never know. And I thought we would just do take a quick look at what I've been up to the last couple weeks as far as making progress outdoors. And then in my mind's eye, none of it seems like a lot, but man, it's been a lot of work all the same. And take a look at the basement, see what we got going on there. So yeah, if you're new, welcome. First video. Check out some of my other videos. This video is kind of a odd duck video, so to speak, although it's food related. My channel is food related. We're going to look at the garden. We're going to look at some of the remodeling in the basement, which involves putting in a kitchen. Food related, garden, food related, and take a look at the garage, maybe, real quick, just because, I mean, in a way it's food related too. It's where I got all my gardening tools at, with some of them at, you know, and just where I build things, you know, for the kitchen and whatnot. So, that being said, let me get us turned around so we're looking at the rest of the world, and we'll head outside and take a look at the garden. Hold on for me just 1 second. All right, we are out in the great outdoors where it is very bright, and head out here to the garden right quick. So if you remember last year, the only thing we had out here was that box, and I think, I don't remember if you guys got to see that box or not. That's where I had the green beans at. Now just over the last few weeks, we've added that box, that long box in the back, and then I'm still going to do one more box right there. We're going to do tomatoes all along there. We're going to do bell peppers here, 3 different colors. We're going to do jalapenos there. This bed here will be spinach, but we're going to put a cage over the top of it, and screening over the top of it. It'll keep some of the sun from directly hitting on the spinach. Spinach is like a shady plant, and we're going to do cucumbers for pickling over the top of it. We actually ran out of cucumbers from a year and change ago. We did so many. And then that bed right there, like I said, we'll do banana peppers, or at least a not so hot chili pepper. This one here will be more spinach, and we'll top it over, and I'll have my green beans growing on top of that. Now, we may also, depending on how I do this, that might end up being zucchini right there, and then we'll do banana peppers and chili peppers there, and jalapenos there. Haven't quite decided yet, but then over here in the back corner, right in there, we're going to, that's where I'm gonna put my blackberries. I'm gonna start my blackberry bushes there. Yeah, if you're new to my channel, we just bought this house in October. So, and this is the new beginnings garden, and right here along the back where that, old herb box is now, which I think we're gonna put strawberries in, I'm actually putting my chicken coop right in here, and we're gonna fence this all in. So like 3 foot out off the corner of the garage, all the way down to the privacy fence, I'll have a fence, and I'll have my chicken coop, my run, and they'll have a little bit of free run in that area also, for them to just play around in while I'm out here working in the garden. But that way we get farm fresh eggs. We go through so many eggs, it's unbelievable. Here is the darkness that is my garage. Yeah, and right at the moment it's just filled with all kinds of shenanigans. But I put up that wall yesterday when we did the tear down in the basement. I had all this paneling that I was able to get off without breaking. There's actually like 6 pieces there, but they're all stacked right there. And as I organize and go, it will get things cleaned up and put away. It took me almost 10 years with my last garage to get it the way I wanted it. So I can't imagine this one's gonna be a whole lot different. And of course, as we get rid of stuff, my oldest daughter, Taylor, just moved in with her boyfriend, fiance, Brandon. And so, yeah, we got a little bit of extra stuff there, but this is pretty much where all the magic happens. And yeah. All right, so let's head down to the basement and we will look at what I've done down there. So we're down here in the basement, and we're in a corner that previously too I could never get into because it was just packed full of stuff. And I thought, what a good place to start. So let me get back behind the camera and we'll take a look at what all we got going on here. Hold on for me just 1 second. So, like I said before, you know, my progress is slow and steady, but we own the house now. But I mean, I don't remember the last time you were here, but that was all packed full of stuff. And now it's no longer packed quite full of stuff, but I mean, I still got to figure out some place to temporarily hold all my jars. But we got our framing in, our electrical in over on that wall. And since you've been here last week, I went ahead and got us framed up to this point. And you're like, well, Brian, that's not a lot of work to be done. You're right, that's not nearly what all I've done. But I had to stop because over here in this corner, I've not found anything leaking, but we look a little rough here. We still have to seal the walls. We're gonna put a sealant on it, but I wanna make sure we don't have anything weird going on here, and that's just all previous dirt. Because if you look right there, that giant gray line, that is a crack that I have fixed. I had to go outside and dig down outside to find till the bottom, till the crack stopped outside. What was happening was I was allowing water to come in and hit the floor down below there. And I had a fish tank sitting there, so as you can see, but there's a piece of cardboard there that is now, well, it was a piece of cardboard there, is now permanently planted to the floor. I still got to scrape up, but we will seal all these walls once I ensure that there are no more cracks in the walls. But this is pretty much where our kitchen is going to be. Now, our washer and dryer were right here. There's the old one. And if you know anybody, there's an old dryer. If you know anybody that wants one, they can come and get it. They can have it. This dryer was here when we moved in. I don't know if it works or not. Never plugged it in. Never had an inkling, but it'll be here for maybe about another week. I'm just really waiting on my arm to heal. But up there in the ceiling is where the dryer vent used to be. So I was thinking to myself, man, how am I going to close that off? I'm not. I am literally going to rethink my kitchen a little. You know, so we're going to, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to put my stove there when the time comes. This is going to be the kitchen area. You know, that right there is the living room area. This will be the kitchen area right behind us, right? And that is pretty much where my stove's gonna go. So, which I thought was awesome, and I'll show you back here in a second, because that's where all the real work happened. So I had this big gaping hole there, and I thought, man, I'll just put the oven there, and that way I can put the vent there for the oven, right? Which makes the most sense. So we got that done, but here's where most of my accomplishments have come from. So as you can see right there, I've got something this house has never had, and that is a drain and vent for the washer. I also got all this plumbing done up to this far. I still have to finish up upstairs, but right there's the kitchen that's currently upstairs. Bathrooms are right here. I still have to hook up the outside water, but then as I took out, that old sink there, it hit me. I don't have any place to hook up for water changes, so I had to install that. You know, and it's just a simple, it'll eventually probably become a utility sink. Although, after I got done running vent lines, running the plumbing all the way down, I ran it all the way down here because right up there, not that you can see it because it got dark quick, but right above where the plumbing ends right there is going to be where it goes upstairs for the kitchen upstairs, the main kitchen. I've got behind these shelves here is a water line that pops out, which you can't, well, I mean, you can see it right there. There's actually a line that comes out right there. That's all the baking some of the baking stuff, not all of it, but some of the baking pans and whatnot that we have. That the current kitchen that we cook out of now is actually going to go right where this shelf is, and it will have a sink there. So we'll have a sink there, we'll have a utility sink over there, but I had to wire in for the washer, I had to wire in for the dryer, I had to run all that plumbing and determine how I was going to do the vent. And that's pretty much the way it was. If you remember right, the utility sink, the basically old horse trough, sat right above that, and it just simply gravity drained into that along with the washer. It actually drained into that sink at the top, and then so I just eliminated the sink basically. And that's probably how I'm going to do it for the moment. Even when we put the kitchen sink in, because the kitchen sink will have a trap, you know, the little U pipe that's underneath your sink, and then that'll help keep back gas out. I just got to figure out a way to cap that and be able to run both those into it. Now, you won't be able to see those from the living room, because as I go and buy more wood and I frame around, once we get to this window here, I'm actually going to put the wall in, I'm excited about this, at an angle from this corner of this window over to that corner of the steps, which will open that up, give me an area for a small utility sink right there. So that way we don't have to mess up the sink that's going to be in the laundry room. That room, once it's completed, or once this kitchen's completed, that room will probably not have very much food in it at all. It'll be some limited storage for stuff, and the washer and dryer room. It'll be basically a giant utility room slash pantry, and we may even do a hidden door right here just for fun. So it looks like part of the kitchen, but you open it up and it actually goes into the laundry room slash pantry. And then we still have the room over there. That wall is disappearing, I promise. It's going to disappear, and that will be our dining room. I take you over there, but right now it's just filled with just more junk. I'm trying to balance basically 4 walls, or 4 rooms worth of stuff all at once. Yeah, and there are times I get a little agitated about it just because it seems like I'm not making fast enough progress. But then it hit me. Our house in Columbus, when we lived there, 6 years ago now, we were in that house 14 years, and it took us about 10 years of working hard a little bit at a time, on our family house, just to get it close to where we want. Well, now we own this house. We're not going anywhere anytime soon, so everything doesn't have to be all at once. Sorry, that's a dryer. Laundry's a never-ending process with 6 people in the house, but it's not, nothing's going to happen overnight, and that's like off the side of the garage when we were out there a few minutes ago. We're putting in a patio with a awning off of it, a permanent awning, so that way we can sit out there in a shaded area. Because if you notice, luckily it's not hot outside, but there's no shade yet. We are putting in some fruit trees to kind of help shade the gardens and what will be the swing set when we move it out to the back corner. But we want to be able to have a patio to entertain on when it's nice outside, with our grill and burners out there, so that way we can entertain outside and not heat up the house. This kitchen down here will be primarily for us, for me and you. This is where we'll shoot our videos. This is where we'll do some cooking. I'll do a majority of my baking down here. We're pretty much going to be living down here also. It stays a nice comfortable 70 degrees down here all year long, and that's awesome. It'll save us from having to super cool the upstairs. The 3rd floor, it gets powerfully hot during the day, although I think I have a cure for that too. But we'll see. But in the going forward, what are we doing now? Well, down here I'll finish framing over the next week or so, because I only get 2 days off a week at the moment, well, 2.5 days off a week. So Tuesday afternoons I try to get all my shopping done. Wednesday mornings I try to spend as much as I can outside working on that project, which will be the beginnings of the patio, continually working on the garden, trying to get the fence in. That's the stuff going on out there now. And then on Thursdays, along with water changes, I will be working down here. But we're gonna put the rest of this framing in. We'll go ahead and get this kitchen framed in, and then I'm gonna run electrical. And that's gonna be a process, because this is where I start trying to rerun electrical for the whole house. I want to completely redo it so it's a little more organized. If we would have looked up in the ceiling, you would see all kinds of junction boxes where it's just been added onto and added onto and added onto. And that is a little scary. So we're gonna try to get to the point where each room is on 1 or 2 lines. Like this kitchen will take 2 lines. One for plugins for small appliances, and then one for the fridge. I'm not gonna have a dishwasher down here, but I will have a dishwasher upstairs. And then we're gonna rerun lighting down here, because I want to have good lighting in this kitchen. That'll be separate from the lighting in the living room. That'll be separate from the lighting in the dining room, with a main light switch. So there's a lot to do, a whole lot to do. We got a little bit of plumbing left to do down here for the sink. A lot going on at any rate. So anyhow, here's our update on where we're at with things. Sorry about the mess down here, but that's a fact of construction life. When you're trying to live in your construction zone, it's not going to be neat all the time. So next week, still don't know what we're doing for dinner. Dessert's going to be that pecan cake that I was talking about yesterday, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Maybe I'll have a small update, who knows. Till next week though, for dinner, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for spending a little time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to tell somebody else that you love them, that you love them very much. They may need to hear that. It may make their whole day. It'll make you feel better telling them too. All right, I'll see you next week for dinner. Till then, I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.